Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Thanks for tuning in. This is the conversation with my one and only mother. Mom, how you
Hey,
doing?
baby.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Awesome. Well, Mom, first of all, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming, because you said you didn't want to do this, but you're doing it. What wouldn't you do for your son, Mom? What wouldn't you do for me?
Everything.
Oh, okay, good. So now this too, all right? I asked Dad some questions, all right? So, and I'm asking maybe some similar questions, maybe slightly different, but when you were coming up and you had some expectations in life, do you feel that you had those expectations met in having a life? Did you expect something and achieve the thing that you expected?
I think so.
What was that you expected?
I wanted to be a school teacher,
Oh, okay.
and
You were such
I became
a school teacher.
a school teacher.
You were such a school. But you were a principal, vice principal also?
I was assistant principal
I mean, did you?
of a high school.
Yes. Now, you are my, I was talking to Dad about how I felt like although I went to a good high school, they failed me in my history of my education, the education of my history. They gave the history of America, but they didn't really give the history of black people to me. I mean, they didn't. And kind of piggybacking on that conversation that I had with Dad, you remember Susie, my babysitter,
Yes.
right? She said that, well, I told Dad that once I found out what was really going on with my history, that I went back to the school, politely cursed out the principal, the English teacher, and the history teacher. Either the history teacher or the English teacher said that they knew.
That was so disturbing.
Yeah, they said that they knew. And again, I was fine with it, but that's why I said don't ever give me any information from
You
that
said
school.
don't send anything.
But I heard because Susie's son went to Riverdale, Puerto Ricans. And Susie said they have a rich cultural program. Did you hear her say that?
No.
Oh, well, that's what I heard her say. And then the
For
question
Riverdale Country?
that Susie said they had a really good cultural program there when her son went there. And is it because I cursed them out nicely?
I have no idea.
Me neither. I don't know. When you were coming up, Mommy, and you had your expectations and you became a school teacher, what was the hardest part about being a teacher?
Actually, the administration.
What about the administration?
Because, well, you talk about being a teacher. I just did what I had to do. I had so much respect for my kids. I really loved my kids at school. And I got the love back. And so I just went on teaching mathematics to them. And we focused a lot on English. And
Wait, mathematics, but you focused on English.
a lot of, yes, I did.
You
And
corrected their grammar?
I did,
Oh.
just like I do with you. And they had to keep notes.
Yeah.
And when I used a word and they said, "What is that?" And I explained what it meant. I said, "You have to put that in your vocabulary list." But what happened one day on the Cosby Show, I can't remember Theo was
Okay, yeah.
said they came in, they were so excited because the night before on the Cosby Show, they used the word copious. And I said, "And how did that make you feel?" They said, "We felt great." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because we knew what that meant." And so we continued with that. They even had a test on it, and I counted it as though it were a math test.
Okay.
And they were good with that, and then they never complained anymore about whatever I said. But they would say, "What does that mean, Mrs. Butts?" And I'd explain, they put it in their book, and I tried to remember the words that I used so I could keep using it so that it would become familiar with them. And that's how I went on with my
Gotcha.
teaching.
I got you. Well, I had you all to myself. And when my eyes were open You were
I was
talking.
talking to you,
You were talking to me.
teaching you all the time, all the time.
That I remember. And I know that I said that I was a good younger kid, but a terrible young adult. Dad said I was just pretty much bad all over. What do you think?
I thought that you were a good child when you were
Right.
childhood age.
Childhood age.
And then it started to get not so great in part of your high school when you played hooky.
I did play hooky.
And we didn't know you hid in the stairwell. And I think something happened and they called to find out how you were feeling. I said, he's fine. And then I was cautious about what I said, and then I had to speak to you first. And that was probably the worst experience with you in high school.
Okay, yeah. I
I
played
mean, we
hooky.
worked it out, yeah.
But they gave me a paper that they wanted me to write on the rationalization of God. That was like a trigger for me to be like, what is going on? I just couldn't get my head wrapped around it, because although I feel God more now, I don't feel like I felt him then. And them saying, make me believe that you believe, it just was irritating to me. Or it made me not want to do that assignment. It made me want to run.
So you just stayed out of school.
I ran. I mean, what kid rationalizes the existence or presence of God? A child. An international language course. I remember I talked about some guy named, he's a priest or maybe a Protestant named Martin Luther, and how he had some writings that helped rationalize God, but it was actually really over my head. I remember that. But so that wasn't a good time for you, huh?
No.
No, okay. Anyway, ta-da! We're here. Mom, what is the phrase that you say to me all the time?
Remember who you are, where you are, and with whom you are, even to this day.
Yes, you say that every time. It's almost like a tag phrase on the phone or off the phone with you. Don't you think I get it by now?
Sometimes.
I'm going to try to get it. All right. Do you have any regrets?
About raising you?
No, about life, things that you wish that you did that you didn't do or didn't get a chance to do.
I really felt that we should have instilled more of a religious background with you and started with church earlier in life.
I mean, we tried.
We tried.
I just couldn't get with it, Mom.
I know. So I didn't press it
I
that hard.
felt like even in church, that like when we sang the songs, that my voice didn't even sound good singing the songs, and it used to hurt my throat singing them.
You never expressed that to me.
Yeah, no. That when I started being as a musician and singing the band, I was like, this is nothing like church. But not because I was doing something that was not godly, but it just didn't resonate with me. I just felt like the priest would say things that didn't relate to me. And then at that time, there were so many things with Catholicism going on, with priests raping kids, and hundreds of thousands of victims of the priests that never had any jail time or any kind of repercussions for their rape activity, but they would move them into a different city, a different parish, a different...
But when we went to church, it was not a Catholic church with a priest.
What was it?
It was like a minister.
Okay, but he wasn't black.
No.
No, he wasn't black. I just remember him not being black. And then with my high school, the way that they were telling me I felt like they were saying that black people were of no significance, ish. you guys, you and Dad would tell me that, no, you matter. You could do anything that anybody does. And I said, well, Mom and Dad said I could do anything that anybody does. So
And you could be anybody.
I could be anybody, except for conversations with police.
Oh, but do you remember that you were grown then? There was a documentary that they did on TV, and you were stopped for speeding, and they talked about the sun, the moon, the stars, where you lived. How do you feel about this? It was just unbelievable.
Nonsense, right.
And then they said, we want to search your car. And you said, you know, I know the answer to that. No, you may not search my car. You stop me for speeding, give me a ticket, and let me go home and rest because I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I remember that was very significant.
The show that you saw was saying how up and down 85, they would befriend you. They would say, I'm just doing my job over here, and just like, oh, by the way, you mind if I search your car?
And they would put drugs in your car.
Either drugs or take anything that you had, or they could just do whatever because you said yes. And I remember that. So when the cop did that to me, and it came, because I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. Because I had my license in my hand. I had the warning thing in my hand. I'm holding it like, we're still here, huh? You know? And he said, oh, by the way, you mind if I search your car? And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, I know the answer to this one. No, you may not. And he had a deputy or another sheriff. He could not have hurt us. Could not have hurt us. And he goes, what's the matter? He's not going to let you search the car? And the guy turned around and said, no, he is not. And they turned back around to me and just looked me in my face up and down and was like, drive carefully. And I already had my stuff. And I left. I was going. But that same cop stopped me 3 times.
I remember.
Between Florida and Georgia. And I was not always speeding. But the one time that he didn't stop me, he had another dreadlock guy on the side of the road. I said, where is my guy? And then I saw him. And he had a person that looked, because I had dreads at one point, Mom. I know you hated the dreads. Hated them?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It just looked unkempt.
Yeah. But I had a friend twist them and stuff, and there was a kempt-ish too. They were clean.
You thought they were. And I kept saying, baby, they smell.
Yeah, that
You said, they smell, Mom? You said, I wash them all the time. I said, baby, they smell. You can't get in between. Or you're not getting in between.
I don't know, Mom. That was my rebel days.
Yes.
That was what I was doing, okay?
And then you cut them off when you got into, you and the baby cut them off when you got into Meharry.
Yeah. And I wanted her to do it because she only knew me with dreadlocks.
Right.
And she always played in them and stuff. And I didn't want to come to her one day with no hair. So I needed her to get into the process so she knew. I think I still have the dread somewhere, Mom. I think I...
Really? You kept them?
I think I kept them. I did. No,
okay.
I did keep them. I did keep them. I haven't opened up the bag box that they're in, but I haven't thrown it out either.
Okay.
They're in there somewhere. But do you have a not of me, but a proudest achievement for you that you did, something that is related to school or?
I cook for people who are elderly or hate to cook and try to share with them whatever we have.
I feel like I got that from you. The giving of yourself, your time, your energy, your effort to someone who could use some time, energy, and effort.
I think it's so important.
I think so too. I mean, it's I think maybe one of the reasons why I started this channel was to just share the things that hopefully somebody could get something out of and say, oh, it's not like that, or it's not what I thought it was.
Or at least make them stop and think about it, which is very important.
I mean, I want to share as much as I can with people that hopefully will get something out of it and become better members of society. I hope. Did you, and that's what you were doing when you were teaching, right? So what is your proudest achievement?
Raising you.
Okay.
I really thought that Daddy and I put a lot of time in you, even when we wanted to do something else possibly for a change. We just felt that you were the most important person in our lives, and we had the responsibility to do the very best that we could. And we did that. I'm sure we made lots of mistakes, but it had to be out of ignorance because we really worked hard.
Yeah.
I was with you more because Daddy was working, and if your eyes were open, I was talking and teaching.
Agreed.
And then you surprised me, because when you had your baby, you said, "Ma, I hear myself, and I sound just like you as I'm raising Jolie." And that's when all of the things that we try to put into you came out, and I thought you did a great job with the baby.
No,
She is very good.
She is really great.
She is.
She's cool to hang out with. She's
a lot of fun to hang out
a
with.
lot of fun to hang out with. And at
And she's
21,
her own person.
absolutely.
She's not a follower, and neither were you.
No.
You were not a follower.
No, she definitely does her own thing. She's got her own beat, and she plays it. She follows it, and that does make me feel good.
But I think that as you grew and you became a dentist, starting out, you taught people a lot of things. They would say, "Dr. Butts, we have other patients," and you would just be talking to your patients, trying to help them with whatever their issues were. You explained everything to them, and I was so proud of you.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. When are you going to cook Thanksgiving dinner again?
Probably never. Oh, maybe Christmas time.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do it.
What?
I don't think I'm going to do it again.
I mean, that's some Aunt Enid influence on you, Mommy. Just, how can we take this off of you?
But baby, I cook for you when you come. Does it have to be
So you're
turkey?
saying Christmas is in the bag. We're going to have Christmas food.
I don't know. If you want, I'll try.
I want.
I know, you and Jolie.
Yes. Well, wait, she won't be with us.
She's not going to be with us this Christmas, right?
I want, though. I want.
We'll see. We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. Yes. All right. What would you say to someone to help them understand their place in life, like what they can do with their abilities? What would you say to someone?
Never quit. This is really what you want to do, and you've investigated it, and you think you can make a living with it. Pursue it. Because you should be happy in what you do for life.
I think so.
And that's very hard.
To be happy in doing what you're doing in life. But if you do something that you love, right, you never work a day in your life. I've heard
That's
that
true.
phrase.
I believe in that concept.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I love teaching. I really did.
I love dentistry.
I know you do.
I love it. I love it. It's taxing though, Mom.
It is.
It's taxing on the body, on the mind. I'm tired when I get off of work. Mm-hmm. And
But you love it.
Oh, I do love it.
You talk about it all the time.
I do.
And I love hearing about it all the time.
It's all the toys that I bought to play
yes,
with
the toys.
are ridiculous.
But it
And
helps you do your job. And it makes it better for the patients.
that's what I need for them. And also, a person came here once and they got a cleaning. Or they didn't get a cleaning. They got an exam and x-rays. And we talked about this before. They needed a deep cleaning. They said they weren't going to pay for it. And because they didn't get any work done, they weren't going to pay. I said, hey man, we did x-rays and we did an exam and we discovered that that's what you need. And he's like, I understand, I just want a regular cleaning. I'm like, well, we don't do a regular cleaning because you're not eligible for a regular cleaning. He's like, I get it. He's like, I'm not paying them. You can call the cops. Okay, call the cops. Call the cops. The cop came in, black cop, black patient. Hey, officer, we did services for this guy and he refuses to pay. He goes, oh yeah, what happened? Yeah, he said, the guy says, well, they said I needed a deep cleaning. I said, I just want a regular cleaning. And I didn't get the cleaning. The cop said, oh, I understand. Well, you can go. Wait, officer, he had an exam and x-rays. It took time. We serviced him. He just didn't get a cleaning, but we serviced him. He didn't pay for it because he didn't get the cleaning. All right, anyway. Officer let him go and just let him be. And I wondered what would happen if things were different. What if it was a white doctor? Even if it was a white officer. I just wonder if it had anything to do with the reason why this officer was so easily willing to let this guy go. Because I told him that we performed services for him, but he didn't pay for those, and the officer was fine with that. I just know that when you and Dad raised me, although racism was something that is a real thing, it's nothing that you made me feel. You didn't make me feel like it was affecting me or stopping me from anything. There was no limit for what I could do because you guys kept telling me you could do anything.
And we meant it.
Yeah, and I believed it.
And we said you have to be polite. You cannot curse at a cop if they stop you. It's yes, sir, or yes, officer, or whatever. And you cannot be outrageous if you're stopped.
Oh, yeah. There are so many incidents that I see of interviews with police officers that end up in death for the
So many times.
for the black person. And I think that you guys gave me the police interview talk over and over again.
Yes.
The be kind, the don't make
Be
any sudden
respectful.
movements, be respectful, don't curse. I
Have
remember
your
that.
hands on the steering wheel.
All of that.
If you have to get something out of the glove compartment, you have to tell them,
Gonna grab
would you
this.
allow me to open up my glove compartment because that's where my ID is, or whatever it was. You have to be respectful.
It definitely was a manual in how to survive a
How to
police
survive.
interview. And I did some stuff that I used to put up posters in the middle of the night, called myself a ninja. That was the supplement for my rock star life. And I ran into cops over and over again. Some of them
And
wanted
you
to bust
sped
me.
a lot.
Maybe, but doing the job, I wasn't speeding. When I was doing the job, I
No.
wasn't in the car. I sped a little bit. But you know where I got my driving skills from, Mom?
Your mom.
Oh, yes. Yes, Mom. I got them from you. Not Dad, not cousins, not even Rodney Harrison. You.
I did speed.
You weave in and out of traffic. You indicated. You talk to the other cars on the road sometimes. Are you gonna let me in? What are you gonna do? I mean, that's what you did,
That's what you do.
and that's what I do.
But I don't speed anymore.
I'm gonna.
You can't say that.
I haven't driven with you in a while for me to even know whether you speed or not.
I don't.
How do you know that you don't speed? I mean,
No, really. The speedometer's right in front of me.
when did you stop speeding? How about that?
Because I don't drive as well as I did before. When I was younger, I thought I was a good driver. I don't feel that way anymore. So I don't even really like to drive, and I'm not seeing that well at night. So,
Okay, all right. I got a big question, Mommy.
okay.
58 years of marriage. How do you sustain 58 years of marriage?
I don't know. The days just pass, and we have lots of respect and love for one another. We have our battles, but we're in it to the end.
Did you ever want to run?
No.
No.
You work it out, whatever it is, and try never to go to sleep angry.
That's good advice. I mean, there are very few people that can say that they've been with one mate for 58 years. That is incredible. I'm just so you know that I don't know if that's a Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, it is.
I don't know if it is that, but it's
No.
got to be somewhere close. It's circling those pages because I see you guys, and I know that my demeanor and my attitude comes from you guys being together. I know that
Really?
it does. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And that the lessons that you guys have conveyed to me individually and as a unit, as in the parents, are things that I tried to give to Jolie.
Oh, I think you have done a good job with Jolie.
Yeah, but still doesn't make me perfect.
Nobody is perfect. You just have to keep working at it. It's an endless job.
Endless.
Just as parenting is an endless job. You're always a parent. You're always a mom or you're always a dad.
It lightens up after a while, though, right? It gets
Yeah,
easier.
just a little bit. But we worry about you every day. I just told you that coming here every day.
Why worry, though? Why would it be worry?
If I haven't spoken to you, because I used to speak to you every single day when you weren't living in the house, and then you got involved and you were busy and you wouldn't call every single day. And then now when we speak to you, hold on a minute, Mom, just a sec, give me a sec. And that happens every time.
Not every time.
Just about every time.
A lot.
A lot.
But I'm moving, and I call back.
Well, now you know that when you say I'll call you back, you say, I'll call you back, Mom, but not tonight. I'll call you back tomorrow.
And do I do it?
Usually.
Okay. Because don't want to
Usually.
disappoint you guys anymore. Do you have any regrets with me?
Regrets? I told you about the religious part. That would be my biggest.
I mean, I believe in God, though.
Oh, I know you do.
So, how did you have a religious regret?
Because I thought we should be going to church regularly, but because of my background, which I don't really want to go into, and how my parents raised me, excuse me, with respect to the church and going to church all the time, I think that affected us, and then it affected how we raised you. So that would be I don't know if it's a regret now, but something that at least I think about.
That's cool. Well, Mama Butts, I so appreciate you taking time to be with your son on a show.
You're my favorite son.
My favorite mom, my only mom.
Even though you're
My only
our
son.
only son.
Only son. But anyway, guys, this is Barbara Butts, my mother. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something about a little history piece, okay? Please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment in the beautiful comment section below. And we'll talk to you later.